Hello everybody, back now in the UK. Sunshine. For those of you who don't know, I've been in Tampa for the last number of weeks, but back home, look at the pond. Looks glorious. Glorious weather in the UK as well. Not as humid as Tampa, but it was a great time there. Managed to caught my biggest ever tarpon on the fly, which was 150 pound tarpon. Just unbelievable, and also my first ever redfish on the fly, which was 33 inches, I think about 15 pound, and then also a snook 32 inches as well, snook. For those of you who are not fishermen or fly fishing people, you may not know what I'm talking about, but anyhow, so I'm back at the pond, as you can see. Let's head over and have a look. Often as you come back from holiday, one of the things you're itching to do is drop the suitcases down, run out to the back and see if everything is alive and everything is well. So this video is just to show you how the pond is looking after my last video and update. So hopefully you enjoyed this short but informative video. Okay, so this is the video of the fish that's coming in to play right now. And as you can see, I've been in a couple of days, so I've cleaned the glass was all mossed up. Had the bowl out because just did a couple of scrapes in the fish. They're all fine, and yeah, everybody's looking good. Let me show you inside. There's all the flowers still alive. Dylan and the crew did a good job watering stuff while I was away, and yeah, so I'll show you in the fish house, and yeah, everything is running well. Recycle arrow, that's the current pH of 7.4. Sunshine is on it, osmosis and all of that, so photosynthesis I should say, and all of that, so that will live around there, direct sunshine and all that. So everything is going well. Recycle arrow running, still getting decent amount. That bottom membrane probably needs changing out in time, but cost of those stuff, I'm not in a hurry to change out. Everything is working really well. So I'll show you as well. There's my spray bar that everybody is interested in. Is the spray bar seems to be the hot talk of the town. So do mention in the comments below if you've got a spray bar like this. This is a Japanese spray bar. I've hung it with these airlines, and they sort of hide right in between the spaces, one all the way down there, so it keeps it elevated as well. And let me knock it off so you can see what the membrane looks like. People are so intrigued by these things. Okay, so I've switched the air off here. Yeah, folks are very intrigued. I've had so many PMs where people think it's made out of PVC pipe. This is actually I brought this back from Japan, and as you can see, it's just like a tubing. And yeah, I bought it from Japan, and the koi collection put it together for me as well. So yeah, and this is the koi that's in there. A few fish is earmarked to leave the pond. I've also removed, as you remember, maybe you might remember, in my last video I said about putting a polycarbonate back on while I was away and then taking it back off. Well, it's back off again, letting some direct sunlight into the pond, and you can see the direct light onto the pond floor there, and then you can see a shaded area over here. So they're not all in full blast of sun, but there is good bits with 2 panels of sunshine coming into the pond and helping those fish that needs that extra little bit of sunshine. So that's that. Let me go and put the air back on while we're talking. Show you the feeder as well while I'm doing this. This is the JBL feeder. Works brilliantly. If you wanted to feed the fish, you just press that button, and I think it lets out I think like 20 grams of food if you just press that button in. And as you can see, they probably a little bit weird that the feeder is going off now for them, but as you can see, there's some food going in there. I use a mixture of Saki Hikari. I never feed just pure one type of Saki Hikari, which I don't know, some people do apparently. But yeah, I've always mixed mine like the breeders do. And you can see there is a little bit of color in there, some growth and some balance as well that's in there. So all Saki Hikari, but a mixture that I use in there. If you want to know the mixture I use, mention it in the comments below, and I could give you a little bit more information on the ratios of what I'm feeding this time of year. My pond temperature, I have it up to 24 Celsius, just as they're getting a little bit of growth food in there to keep the metabolism high in the koi. Let me show you the temperature setting over here. There you can see that's the temperature. The boiler is warming it up, so it will be set at 24 Celsius in itself there. Let me get the air back on. You can see the air is back on. I don't run the bottom drains, the air off the bottom drains. I should say that better, because some people don't understand what I mean. But on the bottom drains there's air diffusers, and I don't run them at all. I leave them off. Just the idea of injecting air at the bottom is for me, and talking to the Mr. Snaden, he recommends that you don't run them in that way, because it can lead to problems in big koi with swim bladder issues and things like that. So I tend not to run their bottom drains at all. The pond clears itself because the design is fine in there. For those who don't know, there are 3 inlets, so the backy shower is behind here, goes in, out, and then through there as well, and that lets the air in. Yeah, so this weekend I'll be, not this weekend, well, the weekend of the 13th, 14th, I will be up at the Northeast Koi Show. It's my first ever time to visit the Northeast Koi Show, and indeed to be there Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Just a unique set of circumstances with holidays and things like that. It's my first ever time to be able to stay at a koi show. Normally I just do the national because of location and convenience and things like that. But this year, yeah, I'm going to be up at the Northeast Koi Show. I'm only taking 2 fish because I'm going more so for the chat and hang out with folks and stuff like that, and to see the awesome fish that is there. And it's the first time outside of the national that I'm showing in another koi show. So if you're up at the Northeast, come over and say hi. It'd be great to chat to you as well, and hopefully we can connect up there. I'll get some footage there, although I don't know how much footage you could get at a koi show, but we'll try and see. Okay, so some people were asking me what do I run my pond at. I thought most people know, but I guess for the new viewers of the channel, they have no idea at what parameters I keep my pond at. Well, naturally the water in Leicester is terrible. Severn Trent is very, very hard water. I think the KH is in milligrams or something like 150 milligrams, which is about KH of 10 or 8 to 10, depending on the time of the year. But I run RO, so at the moment, or at year round, even while I was on holiday, the KH was kept at 15 milligrams, which is probably just below 1. I think 17 milligrams is a KH of 1. So it was held at 15 milligrams via a tank. I've got a tank in there that I would show you. And that tank has a solenoid valve that controls it via a pH controller. So if the pH drops to a dangerous point, it opens the tank up and lets a solution of bicarbonate of soda in. I run recycle RO, so it's cheaper on the water bill, and this year again I've seen a massive reduction in my water bill. I wish we could see that in the electric bill and the gas bill, but yes, I guess the whole world is in the same predicament. So I run that recycle RO, which strips everything out of the pond water, recycles it and put it back in. The only thing that can make it bypass the RO system is chlorine, but I don't have chlorine going in because I tend to test that and make sure it's all clear in that way. So I run a recycle RO system, and I maintain a KH of just below 1 with a pH of 7, between 6.99 and 7.02. As you can see just now, with a direct sunlight on it, photosynthesis, you will get a little bit of a 0.1, 0.2 climb over the parameter, but generally it sits there happily. The koi are happy, the filters, my nitrite is 0, my ammonia is 0, so I have no issues with nitrite spike. I think a lot of people try running what I call is proper KH pH in that way, and they say they can never get the readings on their filtration to settle down. Well, you just got to run it and it will adapt. I mean, I did it with discus, and I use the same Saki House media in the sump of my discus tank, and I kept that discus in there with no parameters whatsoever. I think the pH was 6, KH had no KH whatsoever, and yeah, the discus were fine and it grew. I think a lot of folks, there's a lot of scaremongering or worrying about crashes, and indeed if you're new to koi keeping, then maybe it's not the way to start off. But if you are blessed with natural RO water, that is, you have naturally 15 milligrams or a KH of 1 in your tap and a pH of 7, that's ideal water in my opinion, and it is my opinion and the opinion of a few of the Rasta guys, Rasta Koi moderators, and also Mike Snaden of Yumikoi Japan, that a low KH and a low pH is actually better for the fish long term. Now you have to have a lot of other things in place. Don't just think one ingredient is going to make it work. One ingredient is not going to make it work. Just by having low KH, low pH doesn't mean all your koi is going to be fantastic. You have to have the koi that is good koi, genetically good frame to the koi, good tail, good bloodline, wrist, peduncle you call it. I'm a fisherman, so we call it the wrist of the fish. Things like that. Also feeding good koi food. You need to have Saki Hikari. I've only ever fed Saki Hikari. I did also use JPD for a little bit, but I went back to Saki Hikari because in my understanding, and do mention it in the comments below, but I think JPD in Europe is different to JPD in Japan, although it's similar ingredients. I think it's manufactured in Holland, and I'm not sure it's the same exact JPD, because when I was in America I had a look at theirs, and theirs do come from Japan, and it's a different bag, different label, and different everything. So it's something to have a chat about. So going back to the question of RO, yes, I do run soft water. I wouldn't let my KH go higher than 1, maybe 1.5, 2 at the very most, but nothing higher than that. Certainly that'll be just too high for what I'd like to keep and what I understand with koi. So that's the first thing, is that's a soft water. The second thing is I only feed Saki Hikari food. The third thing is my pond is heated, and I maintain a temperature. So right now it's at 24 Celsius, and that would be held to 24 till all the way till November, when the feeding season is ended as well. I do have a drum and Baki shower filtration, which is all that I use. That's the only filtration that's on this pond. And I do also the fifth thing, let me think of what they are, is what I consider the big 5. But the fifth thing is that I do let a lot of air come into the pond the proper way, so as you can see by the spray bar. And then the Baki house, the showers are awesome way of injecting air into your system as well. So don't just think it's if you just get one of those 5, things are going to be good. That's if you have junk koi, feed Saki Hikari, it's going to be good. No, it wouldn't work out. You have to have the koi, no matter what the water is like and what the food's like and all those things. You have to have the quality koi in the pond, and then add all the ingredients in there to make that difference. So it's not just KH, low pH, and ammonia plays a big part in it, and also water quality. So these are all part of the ingredients that they're all hot. If you're new to the channel, have a look back at some of the videos I've done, especially the ones with Mike Sneed in it, and he talks about RO and why soft water is better for the health of a koi. And growing koi, most of my koi are now 5-6 years old. Well, sorry, let me repeat that again. Most of the koi that I have that are 5-6 year old are now 85, 86, coming up to 90 cm. One's 93 cm, and that's 6 years old. And they were kept in my pond and grew on in soft water as well. Do I get shimmies? Yes, every koi, no matter what, genetically can have a shimmy, no matter if it's kept in soft water or hard water. It's the genetics of the koi. But it's all about growing the koi. Typically a koi in my pond, if it comes in at Nisai, which is 53, 54 Takigawa fish, or Matsue fish, or Okawa, or Sakai Fish Farm, or Sakai Company, if they come in, say at Nisai at 53, 54 cm, by the time they hit Yonsai, I would expect that fish to be 76. I have a Montaro that hit Yonsai at 85 centimeters, but typically I would expect that fish to be hovering at Yonsai at around 76 cm, 78 in that way. This is the Gosanki range. Okay, so and this works for me. It's my pond. It's what I've done since I've been in the hobby, which is since 2004. You could work it out. That's how long I've been in the hobby. And yeah, I've only ever did it this way. Yeah, maintain it. I know there's a lot of people who said you don't need RO, or you don't need Saki Hikari, or you don't need to heat your pond, or you don't need a drum filter, or you don't need. Yes, you can keep koi, but there's a major difference between koi surviving and koi thriving. TDS plays an important part. I know a lot of people ignore it today, but it does make an important part because it tells you what's the makeup of your water. I love a drum system because it takes all the junk out of the system and it stops what is called the tea bag effect, which all the pollutants is really removed. If my pond right now is being turned over twice in an hour, so any pollutants out there within 2 times in an hour, all of this will be screened, clean, and any waste fecal matter will be removed from the pond, so there's no tea bag effect in the pond as well. But all of these are just little bits to the puzzle to help for better koi keeping. I hope that makes sense in that way. Anyhow, enjoy, and if you want to share the channel, if you want to subscribe. Peace.